And I was like, I need your signature. And he was like, no. And I said, I'll forge your signature. Which of course we didn't. And then I said, then let's get a divorce. And then we'll get married. Yeah. Then we'll remarry and we'll sign a prenup. Because he was like, I don't want to be in debt again. And I said, okay, cool. Then I'll divorce it. And then I'll see you at the altar. But this time I'm bringing a prenup.
This is our love story. This is our journey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our love journey. It's the last week of Feb.
Yeah, I think when this comes out.
When this one comes out, it's the last week of Feb. And we weren't here last week because of travels, but we're back and we have an exciting conversation. Thank you so much, guys. The previous conversation with Kabel and Mohale is literally still like blowing up.
Yeah, people are still texting us. We actually were just talking about it, even with
our couple today. And today we've got Lihle Shalom. Did I say it right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'll put shalom. Okay, thanks guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Do you want to tap into that weight conversation again, or should we tap into the most important this week?
I feel like let's let it breathe a little bit. Because now we're going to introduce, last week, 2 weeks ago, we spoke about two different types of weights because our weight was a little bit different. And now there's a third one.
Indeed, there is.
There's a third one.
I feel like they should tell us about their weight.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to talk about it? Are you guys...
I suppose if we get a chance to tell our families about it before this
Well, listen, guys. You're grown now.
Yeah.
You've proven that this life thing is working. So, you know what?
And we can't get a hiding anymore.
No.
Okay,
fine. So, I mean, we waited also. We also dated for like a year only.
Oh.
We dated for a year.
Sure.
Yeah, and he proposed, I think we were 7 months in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
You just
But
knew.
it's because of the weight.
When you know, you know.
Or maybe not the weight was...
Yeah. He was burning, as
Burning.
Paul
It
would
was
say.
tough. When you know and when it's tough,
It's just
do
like,
it.
just do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we waited, but then before we got married, we applied for a bond, and then it got approved too quickly. So we kind of had to move in together.
Oh, wow.
But then we still waited.
So did you sleep in different rooms?
No.
No, we only had one bed in the house.
Yeah, so...
There was
But
no couch.
No, we didn't have anything.
So you guys
We moved
in.
the bare minimum.
Yes, we moved just the
literally
bed.
moved just the bare minimum.
Just the bed.
Just to occupy the space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Those are my favorite stories.
But we still waited.
You
We still waited.
100% waited. Or there were...
Look,
There were oopsies.
there were no oopsies.
There were close calls.
There were close calls.
They were called,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But there were no
oopsies.
Yes.
And you know what? I don't ask this question to try and sneak in, but it's and a lot of young people message that to say this is so freeing, because in the church we're told to wait. And that's it. And if you fumble, no one else will talk about their little mistakes. And then you feel like you're the worst
You're the
person.
only
I
one.
can't go back to church.
100%.
So these conversations are important to show that it's not linear.
No,
it's not
It's
linear.
not, but I think the idea is to be to really reach for that mark and to do
Yes.
it
Press
as best
towards
as
the
you can.
mark.
I always tell her, I've been saying this line. I was saying that a dangerous man that is good is better than a good man that cannot be dangerous. So
Unpack it. It's very confusing when you first
I mean, you think about it this way, is that we all have, I guess it's the story, I mean, Ulana, Pastor Rich Wilkerson was talking about it. It's that we all have weaknesses, but it's not, you're not being strong if you don't have weaknesses and you're being strong. You're being strong if you have weaknesses and you can still be strong.
Yeah.
There we
And
go.
so I think that is the story of the weight.
Yes.
That's
right.
over there.
So all in all, it's worth it. It's just, it's not going to be,
Yeah,
But
because
it's
I think
still
you guys probably learned a lot during that time of having to restrain, but also having to kind of get to know each other and to spend time together in that space where you guys are always in each other's faces.
You guys are 5 years married this year?
4 years.
4 years.
Going for the fifth, yeah.
Did you ever feel like, maybe I should have waited a little bit? Especially that first year of marriage.
Never.
Really?
Not at any point.
Oh, my.
And that's why even for me, I almost knew from the get-go.
Yeah.
And that's why after 7 months, we were engaged.
Yeah.
And I think after 6 months, we were married.
Sure.
For me, it was just, I know.
How did you know? Because that's also another common question.
Yeah, people
How do you know? Ubonisiwe? Or
Look, there is an element of that
Okay.
to our story. To be honest, there is an
Yeah.
element of that. But also, there's just that confidence that this is the person that I want to build with.
Yeah.
And I've known, at the time, I'd known her for a year before we started dating.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did know her, and it was just that confidence. I just
Yeah.
knew that this is the one.
Yeah. Was it a values thing or the way she behaved or a looks thing?
Everything.
Everything,
Even the
Okay.
looks. So everything. Values, because we did everything together.
Yeah.
And especially when it came to the charity work, because that was something that was very big on my heart and for her as well. And we started doing all those things together, and I knew that this is the life for me.
This is the one.
Yeah, I
Let's
like the
do
word
it.
build. I think a lot of people don't look for that in qualities. A lot of people that are dating,
Yeah.
you never hear someone say, "I'm looking for someone I can build with." And I think that's the one strong quality that like really brings people together,
Yeah.
because then you have a common goal. So I think we have that in common.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
think that was the tipping point, is the
Siakala.
we can
Yeah.
build.
Yes.
And a lot of times unfortunately, it's when you haven't found yourself as a single person, right? I feel like it gets harder and harder the more successful you get
Yes.
Absolutely.
to look at stuff that
Yeah.
way.
Right?
Anyway, I think we should get into what we
What we wanna talk
let's
about.
interrogate so much.
Let's go for it.
So you guys live a debt-free life, right? You live the Dave Ramsey lifestyle, and that's how we kind of connected.
Yes.
So I think just to give a bit of background how we met, I think I was pregnant, and
Yes.
you sent me a message, and I don't know if you were starting your business or you were still
Yeah.
working and had your business. Did you still have?
Yeah.
You were still working, right?
Yeah, I was still working, but I was already doing it.
Doing it
was
part time,
yeah.
And you said, "Hey, I can't remember your message, but something struck, obviously,
Yeah.
because I get a lot of messages, and something struck, and I was like, hey, sure." And you came and you dropped off the most delicious, and our science,
So yeah, that's it.
the sweet potato with the bacon.
Stuffed sweet
That was the
potato.
goal.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And my mom was there, and I think it was just one or two, and we all devoured it. And that's just how we met, and we've built a relationship.
Yes.
And I think where we started talking even more was when you mentioned Dave Ramsey, and I had just bought the book, and you told me, "Oh no, we actually live this Dave
Yeah.
Ramsey life." So that's why I brought you here, because I'm very big on debt-free and financial freedom. So what inspired you guys to go there? Was it because, oh no, we've always been financially free, or okay, we are in debt?
Yeah. So we met at church, right? And our church, where we met, was very like big on living the debt-free life.
Oh, wow.
So they introduced Dave Ramsey to us.
What church is this?
Liberty Church.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we met. And so initially, when they started the whole series, we were in separate branches. So I heard about it and I was like, wow, I'm going to go for it. And I did it by myself while I was still single. And then when I met him, because he was very intentional, I think we more courted than dated.
Okay.
So when we started dating, I think second month into our relationship, he was like, yeah, let's sit down. What date do you have? What date?
Sure.
So we literally wrote
2
things down.
months in, guys.
Yeah.
2 months in.
That's crazy.
But also, I'd already met your parents by then. So
Yes.
2 months in. Yeah.
You guys be living a different life.
Guys, the way to make you do things.
When a man knows, he knows.
He knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then that's sort of how it started. So when we saw, because we knew we wanted to build. I mean, the words he used, Ngeskate Engshela, he said, I want to build with and around you. And I was like,
You should be writing these down. These are some powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when, like you said, when I heard the words build, I knew, good to know,
like,
man, this is something,
I
you
know
know?
that.
So we knew the first place we had to start was clearing the debt.
And I was deep in it at the time.
Really? Why?
So you're out here-
You actually don't seem like someone who would.
So
be
you're
deep in
recommending
debt.
this knowing very well.
I know very well. The opposite,
becomes-
I know very well. No, I was deep in it.
Why?
He was.
A number of things. Bad decisions, black tax.
Yeah, mostly black.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of black tax, but a whole lot of bad decisions as well.
Putting people-
Living the life. Yes, so
It
there was a lot of
was,
things.
so it was
yeah.
a lot of, I mean, yeah.
Sounds like a lot
And
of
he
things.
had like a very good salary when we met.
Yeah.
But he never had money.
In fact, the account was still in the red when I got
Yeah.
paid at the time.
That's true.
Sure.
That's how bad
So he
it was.
lived on an overdraft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
And the sad part is
The
when
overdraft life is very deceiving.
overdraft life And obviously,
Brendan used to say, no, it's your money.
Yeah,
Overdraft
that's
is
what
your
my
money.
mom said. No, that, you know what? My mom, when I remember one time I needed money and I called my mom. I was like, should I get a loan or an overdraft? My mom was like, overdraft. You get an overdraft because it's gonna be like your money. So imagine it stayed in my mind.
you're like, yeah, it's your money.
I had to do some
unlearning.
So
No,
it's just like
no.
an overdraft.
No,
it's like
sir,
my
it's
money.
not your money.
No, it actually really isn't your money. In fact, when we got married, we joined accounts and all of that.
Before you got married.
No, when we got married.
Okay, yes.
He was in the red still. And that's the thing, Moshata, you need to make sure that, okay, cool, you know what you're getting yourself into. Because I didn't have that much debt. But when we got married, Community
It
of
was
Property says, hey,
yours. Your
it's our debt, yeah. So I think that was, for us, that was our starting point.
But I like that you were honest from the get-go. From
Yeah.
2 months, you're just like,
Yeah, he knew.
Just
before
say,
you fall in love,
Listen, I've got a problem.
it's so good.
No, it was rough. But that conversation really eased things up. Because then also my expectations were lowered very quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm not going to have the soft life right now. We need to get this elephant out of the room. So that's how it started. But I mean, that was like while we're still dating. So we would save and then we'd have like little goals. Okay, I'm going to close my credit card. I'm going to close this and that and that. And then only when we got married, then things were like, okay, cool. This is how deep it is, you know.
How comfortable are you guys saying how much debt you were in?
We were about 500,000 rand
Sure.
in. Yeah.
And this is
But
not including a bond.
Car. You know,
No,
without the bond.
Without the bond.
The bond is a
This is-
separate expense
yeah.
that we are still fighting with.
Wait, this is including car though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, but that is debt, eh?
You know, the car conversation for
That's
us
where
is...
that's where Booby started to lose me when she was like, I think we should pay off our car. The difference is this. I think I live. My job is very much
on the road.
On the road.
on the road, so I'm putting a lot of mileage on
Mileage
my
on
car.
it.
So
Yeah,
I'm really trading a car in maybe every year.
Yeah,
Or
every
if
every
be
2-3
1 and a
years.
half.
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
at most,
Yo, that's
because
a lot.
well, if I reach 2, the car is out of motor plan. It's a liability for me.
Yeah.
So my thinking is that, well, if I pay this car off and I'm driving it this much, which means I'm driving it 2 years when it's in motor plan, and then after that it becomes a liability to me. So now it's unreliable, so I can't do my job.
Yeah.
And then I'm also still I have to service it myself. If something happens, I have to pay for that myself.
Yeah.
And it's like, it does not make sense. So I treat cars as a business expense.
Yes.
Always. To
Disclaimer, we don't advise this.
no,
Yeah,
we don't.
yeah, yeah.
We don't.
Disclaimer.
It's not.
Guys, it's not by any means. But also, yeah,
You need
it's,
to look at your lifestyle.
you have to look at your lifestyle and your usage of something.
Yeah.
And that's why, for me, yeah, like I said, it's so hard to like and think, and the kind of car that I
you
would
need to
need,
drive.
that I would
Yeah.
need to drive as Brendan Praise. You understand? It's like, it's all these things. It's
Yeah.
all the kind of car that I need to
I
drive
know.
as Brendan Praise. I could not pay that car off
Yeah,
in a
or two.
year.
quick enough. So, but I do like the idea. I
Yeah.
think one day, not one day, actually, very soon. I think we try to implement
We
a lot
try-
of the
for-
Dave
well,
Ramsey
now-
stuff, but it's tough.
We've shifted. So I know Dave says pay off everything except your bond.
Except your bond.
So with us, it's pay off your bond except the car.
Oh.
So
Do you
we've kind
understand?
of replaced
Yes.
car
So
with bond.
Bond,
Because we
yes.
feel like
That
bond
makes
is
sense.
something that's more long lasting.
It makes more
us,
sense.
for-
Yeah.
It makes
For
sense for
us.
our business. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
But
think
this-
that's the value with the Dave Ramsey journey. It's
Yeah.
a blueprint, you know.
It's a blueprint.
and then
There we
you
go.
you personalize it.
There we
Because
go.
Nati, there's certain things that we've tweaked here and there to
yeah.
suit our lifestyle. Because remember, their context is different. They're in the
Yes,
States.
In the States, interest rates.
And like
Different.
1%.
Exactly. You know, this is SA.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we can't do everything by the book. And also that side, secondhand cars are like
Cheap.
the norm, and they are cheap.
Yeah.
Here, you can still spend about 150,000 rand, which is still a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
for a secondhand car. So it's
Secondhand
not
car.
always
And then the interest
attainable.
rate is still
100%.
hectic.
So
So lentaba ye 500,000 rand. Niqalephi. How did you start it?
I think the most painful
Sure.
thing was, sometimes the Holy Spirit. So we were at church, and it was one of the series we were watching, Dave Ramsey.
Oh, yes, yes.
And we had been talking about the car because we're like, listen, we have two cars. And they weren't even expensive cars. It was a Ford Figo and it was an EcoSport, Ford EcoSport. So they weren't expensive cars, but they both had balloons on them. Because we didn't know. We were like,
The balloon life is soft.
I didn't even know we had a balloon.
no. So we had been.
You didn't even know you had a balloon?
No,
Not
not
for
with
the
not
EcoSport.
with the EcoSport. We
Yeah.
had no
We
idea.
had no
We just
idea.
signed. We were like, yeah, we want a car.
You're like, wow,
this is
this is
so
quite reasonable.
You know?
Those people should be fine.
And we were sold dreams because and I'll take responsibility because we had just gotten married and I was like, yeah, we're gonna start a family. We need an SUV. And he was like, I don't even want an SUV. I was like, yeah, but we need it. And we got with the fancy balloon on it. So we had been debating. He said, no, let's get rid of the car. And I said, no, let's get rid of the small car and keep the big car. And he was like, but that's not going to do anything for our debt. And I was like, okay,
Sure.
cool. We went to church. Did the Holy Spirit not speak to both of us? We got into the car and I said, I think we need to get rid of the EcoSport. And he's like, yeah. And that same week, we searched around and we sold the car. And that was painful.
Sure.
In fact, some of our family members were saying things like, oh, what are people going to say? Why are you guys downgrading? But luckily the convictions were so... It definitely was. Definitely.
Sure.
Because then I now had to take him to work, drop him off. And then at the time, the job I was in required me to drive around. So I drop him off and then go pick him up, which was nice. I mean,
We got to
that was a really
time
nice
together,
time in our relationship, you know.
Bond, yeah.
But it was painful. It was painful. And then I felt pregnant. Now we've got a little car seat in this little car. And
Yeah.
During this time, Shalom, does it feel like you're sacrificing every day, or only now in hindsight you feel like, yeah, no, actually, like downgrading was quite a thing?
It was an everyday thing, to be quite honest. It was an everyday thing. And especially because during that time, you do want nice things.
Yeah.
You know, you do see your friends doing the nice things and going
And
places and
it's
whatnot.
Yeah.
Exactly, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not that the money is not there, it's there, but it's doing other things, which makes
Sure.
it even more painful. So it was literally an everyday thing.
Yeah. Sure.
You fight it every single day.
Did you guys make sacrifices like we're not going on holiday, we're not going out?
We still haven't been on our honeymoon. 4 years in now.
hey, maybe he'll make a plan now
Yeah,
that we're going to
and
5
then
years.
Mele sihlanganise, guys.
Like, let's do a crowdfunding.
Yeah. I think in my comments, I think we can get some people.
Literally.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we also sort of pushed it out. Initially, it was okay, cool, we're sacrificing, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then we
Yes.
then I went into business. Then we just
So
pushed it
we
out and
just
pushed it out
and yeah.
But we sacrificed a lot. Like
Yeah.
I stopped doing my nails. The only time I actually did my nails last year was at your salon. Literally. I went there once.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even because of the date free, that was because of business. But
Sure.
literally, so we sacrificed a lot. We didn't buy clothes. The one time, Nkosiam.
Which one was this one?
So winter was approaching, and obviously you need like winter clothes. We set a budget and we went to Small Street.
Oh.
We parked. We were 20, I think we were 25, 26. Yeah.
Yeah, at the time we were
We
around
parked
26,
and we went and we roamed the streets of Small
What was
Street.
your budget?
I think it was probably
don't
like
even
2K
For
each
both of you
or
to
something.
get
No,
winter
probably
stuff.
2K each. I can't remember the
Yeah.
exact amount.
But it was
But,
very low, yeah.
but in that, if we went to like normal shops,
Yeah,
we
other
wouldn't have
shops you
gotten
don't
anything.
get anything.
Guys, we
Yeah.
got jackets, we got boots.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be deep in Small Street when I was in varsity.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
No, but
I
the thing
would
is,
go
we weren't
there.
in
I would
varsity.
put my phone in my sock. Like I know the life.
You were very heavy in that life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
me
we
not
had
so
to.
much.
No, Brendan's always Brendan's
but like-
very bougie, guys.
No, no, I'm not. I also did sacrifice. Remember, there was a time. That's actually why I started wearing. Like, I wear a lot of white and black. Is because.
Oh, yes.
Is because there was a time when I couldn't. But also, guys, I'm in the music industry. It's tough.
So you have to look a certain way.
There is a certain perception
Yeah,
that is there, right?
course.
But I started wearing black and white because I started to see that, you know what, I'm spending too much on clothes. And so if I just keep the colors simple, no one cares what brand of
it's
the
not
plain
like-
white
Keep my size on it.
I mean, this could be Diesel, could be G-Star, could be Mr. Price. You don't know.
You don't know.
So I figured, okay, let me do that vibe, and then I started doing that, and for a while I did
a long
save
time.
a lot of money just by not buying clothes. I mean, I
Yeah.
could go good 8 months not buying clothes,
Yeah,
which is a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Maybe I buy like a pair of sneakers, some shoes, just confuse the enemy. Need to confuse the enemy.
Every now and
But
then.
but I do think a lot of people are caught up in the clothes thing, and that can.
And it's expensive.
We need to also acknowledge that there is good debt, right? how? That's
Which is
No, we're waiting for you to explain.
Yeah.
So we can understand where you
for
come from.
example, maybe to advance your business. You know for a fact that if I take this 50,000 rand loan, I know it's to start me off for a project that's going to bring in 200,000, something like that. Like that we can consider good debt. But then there's debt where you're buying food now on
Yes,
on
living.
account, you're
Yeah.
buying clothes on account,
Yeah.
you're buying champagne bottles on account.
Which is where we come from, you know?
You
By
used
we,
to
I mean
buy
me.
champagne bottles on a. Oh no!
Not
I
champagne,
lived,
but-
I lived off of debt.
he
Like
had
everything of mine
game.
was
He had a game
You
account.
should
Yes, even the
apula
food.
nje. Apula lakho.
Lalela.
Everything.
Veleskweleti.
everything.
Yeah.
Every
Don't
single
keep
thing
doing-
was off of
was-
debt.
Yeah,
at
no,
some
the
point.
devil had you, hey?
Ah, strong,
Like-
Now
man.
you're free. When did you guys
But I
celebrate
came and I
being
said,
debt free?
2020.
Was it 2020?
Yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah, so you guys made it just in time. Because
what?
just before the pandemic.
No, it was after the pandemic. We actually
was
used the
during.
pandemic to fast track it, hey?
Is it?
Because there were a lot of changes with our bond,
Yeah.
the car,
The
because the
car.
repo rate dropped.
Yay.
So it was a couple of hundreds,
Yeah.
but we were actually able, because
To fast
we
track a
didn't
number of
change.
things,
Yeah, we
yeah.
didn't
The
change our
amount you're
installment.
paying, yeah.
Instead,
wow.
we continued to increase, because that's the whole snowball thing. But I think to go back on the whole business, the business credit.
You can argue with me.
Let's argue.
Listen, I'm always open to learning and correction.
okay. Yes. So no, it's because we had this recently, right?
Yeah.
So with the business, last year I was like, babe, we need a car for the business. And I had spoken to the business banker, and he was like, yeah, sure, we can do,
Can do something.
And he was like, but we don't subscribe to the whole credit thing. I'm like, yeah, not us, but
The
my sweet potato.
business.
She can do it. She'll pay every month. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. But then who signs surety? In fact, even the Bible speaks about surety. It says you must never sign surety for another man, but even for yourself,
Guys,
And he said
can
no.
back up this financial thing.
Guys, it was painful. I think I was actually angry at him for a few days,
for some
maybe
time, yeah.
weeks, because the strain was hectic on me,
Yeah.
because now I have to drive this little car.
Yeah.
The orders, I mean, obviously the business is getting bigger.
It's
So
growing.
the car was full. I couldn't, and I'm maneuvering in this little car. And he was just like, no.
But you did it with so much grace.
I did. I
that
would
was a lot of
smile.
So much. You would smile.
I will counter that argument
what?
with a story of our own. So when we started our
Yeah.
YouTube channel, so we did 6 months, I think, with a phone. We're shooting on a
Yeah.
phone, and then the response was great, but the money wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
The response was great, but,
But
the,
the
money,
money-
wasn't quite there yet.
And the money needs to be there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but we realized that, well, if we don't continue to grow and take this seriously, then we're gonna stay where we are.
Yeah.
So what we did was we invested in our first camera, which is that camera right there, and we only, I think, had half of the money.
Yeah, it was about 8,000 rand at the time.
Yeah, it was
Ne?
about 8. With an extra lens, I think we ended up paying like 10.
10. And
So
we
it
had
was-
about 4 5.
Yeah, we had like 4.5K, and the camera was 10,000 rand. So we took it on a type of credit system, right? So where we paid, at the time I had an iStore
I
card.
was You're like, no, please.
I had
This was
this is back in the day. I had an iStore card at the time, guys. iStore card was like a credit card,
Yeah.
but like
Oh, really?
better. It was like a credit card, but like better. So you could buy like all sorts of stuff, and it worked as a credit card. And I think it was just like, it was a standard bank card essentially.
yeah.
But it there was a little bit less red tape
Yeah.
around it.
Oh,
So I enjoyed it. I mean, I bought you
Like,
iPhones.
yes.
Everyone gets an iPhone. So I was like, yeah, no, I've got this thing, and I've got good credit there, because I mean, I would pay it, and then every time you just kind of have it. So even if
Yeah.
you're paying it monthly, the money is just
It's
increasing,
still
and they're
there.
giving you
Still
more
there.
money.
Yours, yeah.
So,
And
so I
that's
was
the
like,
trap.
it's a trap. So I was like, I have this card, let's thing, and we got it. And honestly, to be honest, looking back, I mean, we paid it off, I think,
In a month or two.
In a month or two. But looking back, I really think that jump was so significant for us,
Yeah.
in that it pushed us further than we could go in our own strength, but it also allowed us to work towards something, because I think sometimes people do need the pressure especially in business. You do need the pressure of responsibility, and if everything you're doing is super safe, I feel like you will grow, but the growth will be so much more gradual than if you owe someone money, you owe someone money, and this business
gotta
needs to work. So I think
Yeah,
we
but
started
there's people who don't think like that. There's people who, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll look at it as though.
So luckily you had the work ethic
Yeah.
to
To
get
back
yourself
up.
out of
But
and
here's what
that.
someone who's
Yeah.
anti-debt.
But
Yeah.
with the second camera, then we
didn't
went completely
went
cash.
cash.
After
And
that, it was
after
just
that,
initial
I think we also
phase.
understood that this is not the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But we also understood that we're not where we're supposed to be. So I really do see a place. There is a place, but you have to be the right
You
person.
have to be the right person.
Yeah.
And you have to have
It's-
good discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, finish your story.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult because I was like, look, the business is speaking for itself.
Yeah.
We're going to pay every month. And then he's like,
The
yeah, but
business
then
is
what?
speaking for itself. Yes, ma'am. Please.
But
Listen
then
to
what
the
happened?
business.
You know, he wasn't interested. And he said, listen to me. This is what we agreed on. We said no debt. And Indaba surety is if the business, should anything happen,
It's on you.
It's on us.
it's on
And
us.
we're backing it.
You know? And literally the forms, they had sent the forms, everything. And I was like, I need your signature. And he was like, no. And I said, I'll forge your signature. Which of course we didn't. And I said, then let's get a divorce. And then we'll get married. Yeah. Then we'll remarry and we'll sign a prenup. Because he was like, I don't want to be in debt again. And I said,
Sure.
okay, cool. Then I'll divorce it. And then I'll see you at the altar. But this time I'm bringing a prenup. It was
But
so
I get
deep.
I can understand the frustration.
It was rough.
Because it makes sense on paper.
Yeah, it did.
I get that
Also, you
I
have a
get that
conviction. You need to
frustration all
answer
the
to
time.
God.
Yeah.
You know?
And also the life that I come from.
And
also.
the life you come from. So you've got trauma.
Yeah, no, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, I was annoyed and sulked for a bit, but I mean, I got over it, and luckily, you know, things worked out. And then he also was like, "Okay, cool, I'll
Chip
help
in.
you. Come on, let's get this car." You know.
Yeah.
So after saving for it, it was a bit of a problem, but I see it, and I said to him as well. I'm like, it's a good thing you're also in business because one day you're gonna need credit, and I'm gonna say no. but I think that's the beauty of it is that.
So you bought your car cash.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, we did.
Oh, it was so
Lessons on masalat. No, but that's beautiful. And I think in our relationship, Mpumi is that she's you with the trauma.
I don't have trauma.
But like,
I don't have
I get your frustration because I feel it a lot. Because sometimes, like I say, like to do something like this, sometimes people don't know how much it actually
Yeah.
costs
That's a lot,
to
yeah.
do
It
it.
does.
And so I would know, like, I'm big on convenience. So I don't mind spending a little bit more just for a little bit convenience.
Yes.
And Mpumi is like, no, let's do it the hard way.
Yeah, I'm a hard way girl.
She's
Like,
like-
I'll take
More
the
often
hard
than
way.
not, I'm also.
Actually,
I'm
that's
always
the
the
dynamic in that.
Yeah.
Because I also like spending, and I'm into tech.
Yeah.
And tech is
Oh, tech
expensive.
you have to-
Yeah, tech is expensive. So I also want to spend, but it just I just can't do it simply because then we have these goals
Yeah.
and we have all of these
Delaying your
priorities
goals.
in place that we need to sort out. You know, like with the car thing, it may have taken longer than it probably would have earlier than when we would have bought the car.
Yeah.
But there is no guarantee then if we had bought it with credit that the business would have flourished or would
Yeah.
have gone the way that it would have
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
And even now, there's still no guarantee.
There are,
But if it tanks, the car is still ours.
It's your
Yeah.
car.
True.
That's
Yeah.
a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was so staunch that I was willing, we would shoot on a box. How much is a tripod?
It's like 300
300
rand.
rand, but
You're
we're
like,
not
nope.
there yet.
Yeah, true.
You know, and I think it's so important to honor where you are, honor your season. You're not
Hey.
going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Make the sacrifice. At that time, 300 rand was a lot of money. We can't just spend it on a tripod if we can use a box.
Exactly.
Put the phone
Put it on
on
the
a
box.
box.
Put it
you know?
there,
And let's shoot.
And there will come a time you keep working,
Yes.
investing. There will come a time where it's not even a thing anymore.
The benefits are
Far outweigh
oh
the-
my goodness. The
Yeah,
fact that I could
really
leave
agree.
my job.
Yeah.
Like I left my job after we got rid of debt because we could live on one salary, you know? So had we stayed, you know, within the debt,
Yeah.
You're not
And that's
able
the
to
thing.
start your business.
No.
And people don't realize that 300 here, 500 here,
a lot.
you know, that
Yeah.
account here at Gasi and then that
adds
game
up.
account. It actually
adds
builds
up.
up.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Once we got rid of the debt, we actually saw the actual aggregate here, and it's actually quite big.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was a big amount, and that's why then she
Yeah.
could quit her job after we got rid of the debt.
Yeah.
Sure. How's life on the other side?
To be honest, it's more difficult to stay out of debt than it is to get out of debt.
Really?
Yeah.
It is way more difficult.
Why?
But I think the reason is because we went from a two salary household in debt
Yeah.
to 1 without debt. So when we did the budget, so when I left my job, we sat down to the budget. What do we need per month? Let's say, for example, 50K, right?
Yeah.
If we need 50K per month, then we probably had like 52K for me to leave my job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, even if we just need 50K, that there's still
There's
things
other
you need to
things,
do
like
or want
ice
to do.
creamy.
Exactly. And that's when debt all of a sudden was
Becomes
like,
like-
oh, maybe
not
we
too
should.
bad.
Yeah.
We've done
Exactly.
this before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did get tempted last year.
On 2 occasions. Yeah.
On 2 occasions, Kambe.
Yeah.
Oh, because it felt like we weren't moving, you know? And you look at people, you're like, geez, people are progressing. I'm stuck in here. And I kept saying to him, this is our sowing season. This is not about us having good times or whatever. We're sowing and it's not going to be fun.
Sure.
But this is the season that we're in. And he's just like, yeah, but can't we at least enjoy a little bit? And I'm like, no, we're on one salary.
Sure.
Let's just focus on the bond is paid, the fees, school fees are paid, everything is up to date.
And here you are still alive.
Here we
Yeah,
are.
you didn't die.
Thriving. You didn't
Yeah.
die.
Exactly.
But I mean,
So-
it did get really bad to a point
Yeah.
where I actually asked him, Guti, do you think it was worth it? So the same question you just asked. I said, is it really worth it? Should we do a video and tell people, guys, it's not worth it? Because we were struggling, but it wasn't because of the debt-free journey. It was because of business. So I always try and make that differentiation.
Yeah.
Debt-free, yes, it's
But
worth
also,
it.
I think it's important for you to mention that you don't take a salary from your business
No, I
by
don't.
choice.
By choice,
Yes.
yes.
Because you're saving towards
Yeah, 'cause of
other
growth,
goals.
yeah.
So everything is still very sacrificial.
100%. Very,
right now.
yeah.
What are some practical tips to firstly get rid of debt? Before I get there, did you have any other follow-up questions?
No, I was going to ask that exact same.
Yeah.
Is it?
Okay. Yeah. What are some practical tips? Please don't say pray and trust God. No.
I almost said prayer doesn't work with debt, but it does work.
It works.
But
Only to a
there's
certain
more-
Wisdom.
degree.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
prayer is for the
exactly.
wisdom for
Yeah.
you to not spend.
the actual work, but we started with saving.
Yes.
We had an emergency fund. Because the idea is if you have an emergency fund, should anything happen, then you don't need access to a credit card, an overdraft, or whatever.
Okay.
So we started off with a 10,000 Rand emergency fund.
Oh, did you? Dave says $1,000.
Yeah,
Okay,
$1,000.
so you actually did 10,000.
So we did
Yeah, we did
10,000 Rand. Yeah.
At some point, we pushed it up to 15 because of
15.
then how we were living at the time.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
So I think it depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I would consider
You
an
would-
emergency fund about 3 to 6 months of your monthly living expenses.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that would be after
Oh,
you
that
get
would
rid
be
of...
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yes, initially
So the
it's
initial...
So there's the emergency
Sorry,
and then-
sorry, skipping
Yes.
steps.
So that one was the initial 10 to 15K, right? And then after that, okay, we started with a little, I think there was a loan, a credit card or whatever. So we literally listed all of our debts, you know? So if we're owing 350 on the car, and then the second car is 250, then all the way to the smallest one in terms of the actual full amount.
Yeah.
Then you pay everything every month as it is, and then the last one you throw in extra cash.
So you did the snowball
That's called the
method.
snow, 100%. So we did that, and that works.
I will say tough.
It's tough, but it's so nice. That one was actually more fun than living out of debt
Yeah,
because,
because you were
there's constant wins.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's words,
you're
like
winning.
there's
Yeah.
adrenaline, there's
Exactly,
We would dance around the house. We'd be like, dude, we just paid off the overdraft of what, 20, 40, 30?
I don't
guys,
remember. Ask no questions.
So we're living it up.
Not even, hey? Like, yeah. So that's literally, and that was for us the most practical way to do it. So you forget about interest rate. Just look at what's the most,
the highest
the
one
highest,
first.
and then you, honestly, the first one you'll probably kill in the first month. True. Because it's probably the smallest, probably like 2,000 Rand. Or
Yeah.
whatever. And then that 2,000 Rand that you are paying,
Add it into the next one.
literally, that's
Just
the
keep
most
adding, keep
exciting.
adding.
Yeah. So that is honestly the most practical way to do it. And you need to budget also.
How long did it
And
take
stay
you
in your
guys?
lane.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, a year, 8 months.
So it didn't even
something.
take that long.
No, it didn't take long.
It didn't because we got rid of the car. So if we had stayed with the car,
Yeah, so it would have-
and with,
yeah.
with getting rid of the car, because it had a balloon, when we saw, so the offer that we got on it was 70,000 Rand
Less than
less
what we owed
than
on it.
So you still had to pay the 70,000 rand.
Yep.
What about I say?
the car's gone. The car's gone, but we needed to pay that upfront. There's no okay, we'll work.
Oh, you had to pay it up.
You have to pay it upfront. So we had to pay the money.
Settling it.
Yeah, you
So
have
you
to
can't pay
settle.
an installment
No, you
for a
can't.
settlement.
It's not your car anymore. Installments are over. Yeah, but so it's very painful.
But it
Balloon
wasn't
is
yours to begin with.
well, it was never yours.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. The car is yours.
Oh, yeah, the car is yours.
At
car is
that point,
yours.
it
You
wasn't.
just owe the bank.
You just owe the
I
bank.
can give us.
Well, it's more of a rental. The bank
It's not a
actually
rental.
kind
So
of
this
owns
guy,
the car.
Koshik, I don't know if you guys follow him on Twitter. He actually explained it. And he said, the car's yours. You just owe the bank.
You owe the bank
You
money.
owe the
So
bank.
if you can find the money anywhere else, the bank doesn't want the car.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
the
the
bank's
actually
got
don't
nothing to
They
do
want
with
their
the car. They want
money.
their
That's
money.
why.
That's
Even,
what
that's
they
why
want.
even when you gave them back their car, they were like, "It's fine," but
fine,
you still
just
want
do
the
it.
money.
That's so
Where's the other money? So,
and it's, yeah.
but it's oh man, I want to ask something. So what's the ultimate goal, right, with the debt-free life? Obviously, it's to stay debt-free.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of thinking of what are the areas that when you guys were starting out, what was the life that you envisioned and what did it look like, this debt-free life? Because I know that, like you said, sometimes it can be more fun, like crushing the goals. And so when you don't have debts and what's
Then
the
what?
life
Yeah.
then?
Building
You know,
wealth.
it's building wealth and also being in control.
I love that.
And because, as the Bible would say, that you'll be slave to the lender because of the debt.
Absolutely.
And you actually see it in that, let's say you're a giving person. You like to give people, you like to do nice things, right? And you want to give to someone, you still have to consider, what is Edgar's going to say? What is Standard Bank going to say?
Yeah.
Because they want their money.
Yeah.
So you can't give freely and you don't have the control over what your heart wants to do. And that's the whole thing about it. Now you have control because
Yeah.
you don't have to consider anyone else.
Yeah, and the sad thing is actually during our debt-free journey, we had to sort of halt on some of the things that we do because before we got married, we were like hectically into giving and cooking for people. We'd have like massive things that we'd do. But then we were like, but this isn't practical. We're spending so much money doing this and we do. But now we have the freedom to do that. And also, if the Holy Spirit prompts you to give, the cash that he's given you, firstly, then you're like, no, but I still owe Standard Bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we want to be
Free.
as usable
As-
as possible.
It's what that guy told you about saying, I'll never forget the guy from Now Spirit who said, first sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Because before you try and help
100%,
everyone, it
yes.
sounds selfish,
Yeah.
but if you're, and that's probably one of the reasons why you got into so much debt. It's because you're not in a good place, but now you're trying to save everybody
Everyone else.
else,
Literally, yeah.
And at the end of the day, nobody gets saved.
Exactly.
But if you save yourself, get yourself in a good position, then when you're helping, it's
You can
easier.
even
can
you
do
help
more
people
work.
in even a better
In a
way.
better
that's more
way.
long-lasting.
and also your heart is so
Long-lasting.
open to it because
Heart is open.
this is and we said when we had just started, in fact when we just gotten married, because people would ask for cash, whether his side of the family or my side of the family, and we'd say, can people just give us a break, just give us 2 years,
Yeah.
and you can then after that we can
Listen.
because honestly it's not that siyancishan, we're not
Yeah.
stingy,
Yeah.
but debt will make you stingy. You owe
there's
people.
nothing you can.
You
Did you
can't-
guys tithe? You guys are tithers?
Yeah.
Did you
no, we
tithe
continue.
while in
Never-
debt?
You can never
You
stop
can't
tithing.
that
Then you have it for those who've been asking me. Even when you're in debt, you tithe. Because for me, tithing is God, I trust you with the rest of it. I'll give you this,
There
you
you
take
go.
care of everything. But the months when you miss your tithe, you're just like, I'm on my own.
It's
I'm on my own.
amazing. We literally call it insurance.
Yeah.
That
I love
10%
that.
is
It's
insurance for your
insurance.
90.
Sure.
Because the enemy can come and steal. Anything can happen
Anything can
to your
happen.
90. You think,
Yeah.
I'm sorted. I've got
Yeah.
more than, you don't have more than enough. You
Yeah.
still need God to make sure that this is protected and he can even multiply that 90.
Can stretch it.
100%. So for us, we never stopped. We did consider, I considered it. Hey,
And
Nathi, I'm the bad one.
one.
Which is weird because I'm not the bad one. But I was like, dude, we're about to, because we almost got back into debt when he was hospitalized.
Yes.
And I said, okay, cool. Then maybe we must stop tithing. We must stop doing this. But literally, the reason why we didn't get back into crazy debt is because we tithe. He ended up going to hospital for free.
Really?
Wow.
After they said, okay, cool, you guys need to pay 500,000 because he needs to go straight to high care, COVID, etc., etc. And we were like, we were supposed to get 500,000 from you know. But we literally saw, in fact, it's not just that only time. Literally throughout the year last year, we're like, this is because we tithe. Oh,
Yeah.
this
You
is
see
because
the
we
hand of
tithe.
God, like it can't be
Literally,
anything else.
So all the other insurances are good, but tithe, it's number
that's
one.
The same. It's the same with us. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I think kina 3 years.
Yeah.
Kisa missy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
miss. I don't miss tithe.
Yeah.
Like anything else. The other day, nje, I got paid for something. So I wasn't sure when exactly I got paid, but so I had to go to my payment history.
And do you
Be
know?
like,
Oh yeah.
Where was it?
Did I tithe for this?
Oh, this yeah.
Because I take it that seriously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I-
that's
and
good
I don't even want to
stewardship, yeah.
use the money
Yeah.
before I
It
tithe.
needs
Like
to
I don't
go
even want to
before.
use it
Don't touch
before I
it.
tithe.
Yeah.
So I need to go through my payment history
I
and say,
would
when
rather
did I get
use
it?
his card if I know that I haven't
Haven't
tithed and I don't know how much it is.
Yes.
Borrow me your card
Let
so
me
I
chow
can
your
pay.
That's how
Let me
important
sort
it
out
is.
my stuff
And
first
it's really that. It's that you're saying, God, insure this money.
Yeah.
So that I
Yeah.
can use it, so that it does what it needs to do.
Yeah. And it's not a religious thing. It's
No,
it's,
it's not.
it's a principle.
It
Yeah.
is. And
It's
it
a
also will
principle.
give you so much peace, I think.
So much
like,
It
really does.
you know you're covered.
You really are. And it's like, even if it's not enough, I tithe more when I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's really
Meh.
when it's like, some people are like, yeah, but what if you make a lot of money? 10% of 100,000, for instance, is 10,000. And it's like, dude, that's the easiest one.
Exactly.
The hardest one is when
Yeah.
it's 100 rand and
Yeah.
you need
and you need
that
that,
100
that,
rand.
Yeah.
yo.
So for me,
Literally.
it's when the month is looking dingy. That's
Yeah.
when I know, okay, I need to make sure I tithe this
Yeah.
month.
True.
Because
Yeah, goes shuba.
anything
can
Goes
happen.
Exactly. And also when we started, I remember we had tithing goals. I remember we were
Tithing
like,
goals.
yeah, we were like, yo, we can't wait until we tithing 10,000
Oh
rand.
yes, we did.
And
we
then
had
you
that.
get, and then you can't wait until because
Yeah.
obviously if your tithe is that much, it
It
means
means more things have multiplied.
so
Yeah.
obviously if you prioritize the things of God, 100% you will
100%.
flourish.
I-
There's
I-
no other way.
I love that we're not alone with this because we had tithing goals.
Yeah.
We have, in fact, every year. So we give a Thanksgiving offering every year where we go back to God. And every time it's always an uncomfortable amount, right? We always say, okay, how much did God say to you? And then every year it's happened to be the same amount. So we know that we're not crazy. Because sometimes I'll have an amount and I'll think, this is too much. There's no way. And then I'll be like, what did God say to you? And we'll literally have the same amount. And so now for this year, the goal is it's a little crazy.
But the great thing is that the
But
devil.
I think, you know what I think it does? And this is like, I feel like a lot of people,
Actually, when I think about it, I'm just like, I think
it gives you something to work towards.
Yes.
Because I do think that you can get to a place where everything is super mundane and everything
Yeah.
is like it's routine.
Yeah, you
and
tithe,
you know
you
what it is. But I
shopping.
always believe that God's always got something more in store
Yeah.
for you. But you have to be willing to take that journey and say,
Yeah.
okay, what else
Yes.
is because like I can imagine how freeing it is to get to a point where you date free. But like what else? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And so I love that you guys are now focused on building wealth, and getting back to being like givers and free givers
Yes,
and
yeah.
helping and so that's the stuff that I think it does when you set goals like this and you're like, I want to give something more, because for you to, it's not about the gift. It's the fact that God's put you in a position where you can even do
able
that.
to.
Sure.
And
That's so good.
so we miss that sort of thing by kind of being comfortable with, hi, this year we gave a lot.
Yeah, true.
And it's like, well, that's not the
Ganja.
point.
Yeah.
It's the journey. The journey of getting you to that point is gonna do so much in your life.
Yeah, that's
so I
true.
think that's what motivates us to wanna do it. I definitely
Yeah.
would encourage people to tithe first
Yeah.
of all, but to
Tithe.
also give.
But to
They always
give.
say
Yes.
giving is like the next step after tithing. When you give a
Yes.
gift, it's a different feeling, because that's like not. It's not
about
compulsory.
obligation.
Yeah,
It's not
a-
insurance or
yeah.
anything. That's like, you
It's
know.
a lifestyle.
That's true.
It's a
I think it's
lifestyle.
Pastor Mike Todd who says the very entry level of giving is tithing.
It's tied. Yeah.
So
like
you can't even
You've switched
brag
it
about
on.
it.
Yeah.
This is entry level.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you move to offering.
Yeah.
You know, which is also, if you're a Christian, you have to offer.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But then there's this what is it, sacrificial,
sacrificial giving,
which is the one that you're talking about.
Yeah,
where you're like,
we're just
did
like-
we hear right?
Yeah, like
And then, you'll be like, no man,
one's painful.
let's pray again.
remember our first. I always talk about our first sacrificial giving. It was 1,000 rand. Ne? 1,000 rand.
Hardest 1,000 rand.
The hard, guys, when
Yeah.
I say it was the difference between us and food for the month, and listen, I went back to God and I said, God, I
Please,
This is not you, ne?
please talk again.
It's the only gift that we had to withdraw.
Yeah.
And put in an envelope and go
And
so
go
that
and
the
say-
pastor can see our face.
Yes, we like,
Siagu.
It was, but it unlocked so much.
100%.
Now we can't hold our sacrificial giving by hand.
Yeah.
But it's not as hard as that first
Exactly.
1,000 rand.
Yeah.
You know?
And it starts with the small
It
stuff.
smells. The
starts
small
with the, exactly.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
And it
yeah,
only
man.
gets easier.
Yeah, it only gets
Yeah.
easier. So we're so happy for you guys. You guys
Thank
keep
you.
steady.
So excited.
Pretty much debt free. I know you're gonna kill your bond very quickly.
Yeah.
And to wealth, man. You know, after here, God wants us to have life, but life in abundance.
Yes.
You know, now
100%.
you've obeyed, you've sacrificed. It's time to thrive.
Amen.
Amen.
And I'm ready to thrive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, please go
time
back,
now.
do your
Hey.
nails, girl. Listen, do your nails, your
Yeah.
hair, spa dates,
all of it.
all of it.
Never
And
mind those. Those
Shalom.
are cheap, eh?
Huh?
Never mind those. Those are cheap.
Yeah, those are
Pella, the
given.
tech things, eh? Those are the things that really.
techniques, those are the problems.
Yeah.
Yo,
Because
yeah.
you want that 85-inch TV.
Bro, you need
You want that sound bar.
You can't even see Lewis. I'm on the house. Ronaldo, you just see his arm. Yeah.
Your TV's not big enough.
It's too small.
No, but that's literally the first thing that we did after we got debt free.
You got a
Yeah.
TV.
We got a TV because we had a 32-inch in
For the-
2020.
You guys
entire
are
period.
no, but like I'm actually really inspired because I really think, and I really think that I really think this is going to help a lot of people.
I hope so.
Because I think we think it's really hard, and it is really hard, but it's so worth it, and
Yeah.
it's possible. And
And
I think
it's
you guys
possible.
are.
It is.
Because I was super like this Dave Ramsey thing in me being it young tired.
Yeah,
My
yo,
guys are.
Like, please, girl.
But then she was like, no, but Lihle and Shalom are doing it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Good for them.
I'm like, what do you mean they're doing it? Like
It works
fully.
for their business.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, like that. I'm like, even the car. But it's like it's nice to know that it's possible, and I think a lot of people really are capable of doing it. They just haven't seen or
Yeah.
haven't been shown people that have done it and don't have that extra push. And I really think this is gonna do that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate you guys
Thank
coming
you.
on here and sharing
Yeah.
with you guys, because finances, people don't want to speak about
Yeah,
it.
let's talk about them. Yeah, to say you were
Yeah,
500,000 deep in debt. Last year, what I did for Christmas, and it was part of, I don't know if I ever told you, but it was part of my seed for few things which God has provided. And after I went through the whole Dave Ramsey book, I bought all our family members the Dave Ramsey book.
Oh, that's
And I said to them, God is about to trust us with wealth, right? And when he trusts us with wealth, wherever we take our wealth, it has to be solid ground. So now I'm giving you this book to prepare yourself, because if your ground is
the
not
ground.
solid, I'm not putting my seed
sowing
there.
100%.
Where I put my
Yeah.
seed matters.
Yeah.
Where I
Yeah.
spend my money, money is that spiritual to me. So everybody around me, if I
Get
need to
right.
sow into, get it right.
Yeah.
Be solid
Yeah.
ground. Let us be able to sow
Yes.
freely.
Yeah. And it's always difficult, I think, with family. Family
It
is
is.
like the most difficult to understand this journey.
Yeah.
Because for us, they only started taking it seriously when we started.
Yeah, well, we
crushing
need to
goals.
see the fruits,
Yeah.
It's hard to tell people
Exactly.
about something when it's
Exactly.
still in the root.
sowing
So-
season shows nothing. It's
Showing
just
nothing.
dirt.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
So
Someone
even
has to
that,
make the sacrifice.
The soil needs to be ready to receive good
Fertile.
seed. Yeah.
Fertile.
100%.
All right, guys, this has been fun. We've had so much talking.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna have you guys on again as well.
Yeah,
Because
we
you
would
guys
love
are you're more than just financial gurus.
Yeah.
Financial
Yeah.
I feel like there's quite a lot to unpack in
There
your
is
guys'
a lot to
marriage.
unpack.
You guys seem like, I always say, for me, the most beautiful thing to see in couples is when a couple is literally one.
Yeah.
And you can just tell, okay, these people,
These
like,
people bike.
it's one person.
Yeah.
It's just different angles. This is
Yeah.
this is the funny side. This is the
Mhlawumbe
serious
benifike
side.
emotweni nizothi, "Hey, u-10."
Yeah.
Mara, you are together. United front.
Yeah. So I really, really appreciate that about you guys, and I wish you guys the best. And I know
Thanks
that,
so
like I
much.
said, this episode's gonna help a lot of people. I'm gonna watch it also, so that I can also get into the.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll pay off the car now.
Maybe we might pay off the car. But yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for availing yourself. And yeah.
Alrighty.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you guys for watching I Love Journey.
Story. This is our journey.